On May 7, 2025, India launched Operation Sindoor, a coordinated military attack on 9 terror camps, 4 located in Pakistan and 5 in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The operation involved the Indian Army, Navy and the Air Force. This is the first time India attacked Pakistan in such a large scale since the 1971 Indo-Pak War. Pakistan reverted by attacking Indian military installations, escalating to a full-fledged war. The 3-day military operation involved extensive use of drones, surface-to-air and air-to-surface missiles. Even though both Pakistan and India attacked each other, Pakistan received a great deal of damage to its military assets. The operation ended 3 days later with an urgent phone call from the Director General of Military Operations of Pakistan to his Indian counterpart on 10th May 2025 at 15:35 hours, requesting a ceasefire. In this video, using animations, we will understand every aspect of how this big operation unfolded, its effects, and most importantly, why Pakistan requested for an urgent ceasefire with India. The Indian Army maintains a heavy presence in the Kashmir Valley, but Pahalgam was left out because it's a remote area accessible only by foot. Very few tourists used to visit the place before. But in recent years, due to increased crackdown, militancy in Kashmir has decreased. So local tour operators began taking tourists to the region in large numbers without informing local administration. This loophole was exploited by the terrorists. So on 22nd April 2025, 3 terrorists walked in and killed 26 unsuspecting innocent civilians. The victims were mostly Hindus. Terrorists have attacked and killed Indian civilians before, but India's response in the past was very limited. Pakistan believed as it has nuclear weapons, India would dare not attack it in any way. This is called nuclear blackmail strategy. But this time it did not work. Just days after the terror attack in Pahalgam, India began planning a massive strike on Pakistan. The Indian Prime Minister and his defense chiefs began to draw out a well-thought-out plan to take out all terror camps inside Pakistan without nuclear escalation. India identified 9 terror camps, 4 located in Pakistan and 5 in POK. All these terror camps were located within 150 kilometers from the border. India will have to do precision strikes on the terror camps without harming civilians. The missiles that India is choosing for the precision strikes must not be deducted and shot down. The Scalp or the Storm Shadow is a French-made air-launched cruise missile. It has a range of 550 kilometers. The target coordinates are fed in the missile memory. Once this missile is released from air, it will fly low at subsonic speed, evading radar detection. The missile is guided by satellite navigation and terrain map. Once a missile is close to the target, it climbs to a higher altitude to clearly identify the target. Once the target is identified positively, the missile will jettison its nose cone, allowing a high-resolution infrared camera to focus on the target. The missile using infrared homing will ram the target at high speed. The Scalp is very accurate. The BrahMos A is a supersonic air-launched cruise missile with a range of 290 kilometers. This missile is launched from a modified Su-30 MKI. Once launched, the BrahMos A will guide itself to its target using satellite navigation and inertial navigation system. Once close to the target, the BrahMos will execute an evasive S maneuver as shown in the animation and hit the target. The BrahMos is unstoppable. I have made a detailed video on the BrahMos S maneuver, link given in the description. The AASM Hammer is a French-made air-to-land smart bomb. It has a shorter range of 70 kilometers but has a 250 kg warhead. This bomb is cheaper and can be used on targets close to the Indian border. A few days after the terror attack, the Indian government rolled out instructions to states to conduct mock war drills. It looked like India was preparing for an all-out war with Pakistan. But few in India and elsewhere believed that India would actually attack Pakistan in a big way, as both are nuclear armed. In fact, Pakistan was so confident that India would not attack, it started increased artillery gunfire all across the LOC, provoking India. Pakistan also tested a new 450 km range surface-to-air ballistic missile called Abdali weapon system as a message to warn India. Meanwhile, the Indian Army, using intelligence and classified ground reports, made a detailed plan of attack. The locations of all terror camps, military installations, missile deployment locations were all plotted on the map. India might well have 3 phases of attack, depending on the level of escalation. Phase 1. Attack only terror camps in Pakistan using air-launched missiles without crossing the border. Phase 2. If Pakistan retaliates by attacking Indian military installations, then India would respond by attacking Pakistan's military infrastructure. Phase 3. If Pakistan proceeds with an all-out war using its nuclear armaments, then India will be forced to retaliate. After multiple rounds of meeting, the Prime Minister of India gave the green light to the Indian Armed Forces to launch attacks on terror camps inside Pakistan. The Indian military launched Operation Sindoor. On May 7 at 12 am, Operation Sindoor began with the IAF aircrafts comprising the Rafale, Sukhoi 30, Mirage 2000 loaded with Scalp, BrahMos and Hammer missiles took off from their forward air bases. India meanwhile jammed all Pakistan air defense system. Pakistan AWAC, the Saab 2000, which was roaming the Pakistani airspace, was also neutralized. From 1 am to 1:30 am, IAF planes precisely struck 9 terror camps. The terror camps hit were Muzaffarabad, Kotli, Gulpur, Bhimar, Sialkot, Sarjat, Muridke and Bahawalpur. The terror camps close to the Indian border were targeted using Hammer smart bombs. The longer ones at Bahawalpur and Muridke were targeted using Scalp and the BrahMos cruise missile. None of the IAF planes crossed the border. They fired well within India. Pakistan meanwhile defended its airspace with J-10, J-17, F-16 and the Mirage 2000 fighter planes. Pakistani fighter planes fired on the IAF jets without crossing the border. Pakistan fired the Chinese-made PL-17 air-to-air BBR missile, which has a range of 150 kilometers. Some 123 fighter jets of India and Pakistan were up on the skies that night, involved in intense dogfights. The whole operation lasted just 23 minutes. India jammed the PL-15 missiles dead link, and hence many of them fell fully intact on the Indian side of the border. Pakistan claimed to have shot down 3 Rafales, 1 MiG-29 and 1 Su-30 MKI and an unmanned aerial vehicle. But India has not confirmed any shootdown. But all the Indian pilots safely returned to base. The Indian government described the strikes as focused, measured and non-escalatory. The missile strikes targeted the infrastructure of terror groups like Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. As per the Indian government reports, almost 100 terrorists were killed. In response to India's Operation Sindoor, Pakistan launched Operation Bunyan-An-Marsus. Pakistan launched drone and missile strikes on several Indian cities and forward bases in Adampur and Amritsar. Pakistan used the Turkish Asishgard Songa drone. This is a large drone capable of carrying an 81mm mortar for 10 km range. Pakistan used some 300 to 400 of these drones to attack 36 Indian cities. India shot down these drones mainly using the upgraded L-70 gun. The L-70 fires the 40mm round. Even though this gun was designed in the 1960s, it has been upgraded. It has been fitted with an automatic target-seeking radar and fire control system. India was able to neutralize almost all the drones launched by Pakistan using the L-70. Pakistan also launched 8 missiles against India. These missiles were neutralized by the S-400 defense system. The S-400 defense system is India's prized purchase. It has been considered the most effective air defense system in the world. The S-400 consists of a surveillance radar, a tracking radar, a command unit and a missile launcher. The S-400 has 4 types of missiles based on the range. The missile ranges from 120 km to 380 km. India actually purchased 60 launchers with 6,000 missiles from Russia. The S-400 surveillance radar will scan the skies and track targets. It can track up to 300 targets. Once a target is detected, the command post will decide whether the target is a friend or foe. Once a target is identified, the command post can fire one of the 4 types of the missile depending on the range. The S-400 is a highly reliable and accurate system that the US and NATO fears. As Pakistan was now attacking Indian military installations directly, India needs to do the same of attacking Pakistan's military installations. But first, India must take out all air defense systems protecting Pakistan. India must now conduct the SEED operation. Pakistan's main air defense system is a Chinese-made HQ-9B. This is a Chinese version of the Russian S-300. It has a range of 125 kilometers. On May 9, the IAF first flew a pilotless aircraft mimicking the Su-30 and the MiG-29. The Pakistanis quickly switched on their air defense radars to detect the intruder. This gave away their positions. India then used the Israeli Harop drones, which are undetectable and can fly for 6 hours for 1,000 kilometers. These drones attacked the Pakistani air defense radars and the Chinese HQ-9 SAM batteries. The HQ-9 systems at Lahore was the first to be taken out, followed by the others. With the air defense radars gone, Pakistan was now completely exposed. India then started to launch the supersonic BrahMos and the Scalp missile to attack Pakistani air bases located all over the country. Later that day, India said Pakistan had launched airstrikes directed in and around Jammu district, including the airport and the university. There was heavy artillery fire from Pakistan all across the LOC with a particular focus on Kupwara, Poonch, Uri and Samba sectors. Pakistan reportedly carried out drone attacks on 26 locations across the LOC and the international border, from Baramulla in the north and Bhuj in the south. By the 10th of May, India had taken out most of the Pakistani air defense systems. India then fired approximately 15 BrahMos missiles on 11 Pakistani air bases located at Skadu, Noor Khan, Rafiki, Reed, Rahim Yar Khan, Chunian, Sargoda, Basru, Sialkot, Jakababad, Sukur and Bolari air bases. Most of these air bases were heavily damaged in the missile strike, as was later seen in the satellite images. Enraged, Pakistan now fired the 400-kilometer range Fateh-2 missile aimed at India's capital, Delhi. The missile was however intercepted near Sirsa Air Force Station in Haryana. Pakistan continued heavy artillery fire at the LOC near Sialkot and Rajouri, killing many civilians. By now, Pakistan and India were deep at war. However, both sides did not mobilize ground troops. While the Army and the Air Force of both countries were heavily involved, the Indian Navy dispatched a carrier battle group led by INS Vikrant along with some 36 ships to attack Pakistan. But much to their surprise, none of the Pakistani naval ships ventured into the sea. They all stayed close to the pole. By the 10th of May, the war was escalating. Something happened in the Kirana hills of Pakistan. These hills stored Pakistan's nukes. Pakistan immediately consulted with the United States. The US advised Pakistan to call India on the hotline and negotiate a ceasefire. So Pakistan decided to call India on the Islamabad-New Delhi hotline. Even though this hotline was created way back in 1971, Pakistan rarely used it. But now Pakistan seemed to be desperate. So on 10th May 1535 hours, the Director General of Military Operations of Pakistan called the DGMO of India to negotiate a ceasefire. India accepted the ceasefire at 1700 hours. American President Donald Trump took full credit and announced a ceasefire on Trump's social. But just 2 hours after the ceasefire was announced, Pakistan violated the ceasefire by sending in drones over Jammu. This shocked India. The real reason for this violation is China. China was very disappointed with Pakistan going to the US for help. China wanted to project itself as a regional superpower. So just to please the Chinese, the Pakistan prolonged the war. Only after the Chinese foreign minister spoke to his Indian counterpart did the war come to a complete end. Pakistan confirmed 11 military personnel killed and 78 injured, while India lost 5 soldiers due to artillery fire along the LOC. Like this video, please subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.